Welcome to Seen It All. Today, we're going to talk about a classic, one of the greatest movies ever made, and what do you call it? Everybody's favorite, Brad Pitt's abs. All right. So,
Woo!
right?
Yes, sir. Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm talking about.
I stuck myself in food.
So it says I do have some internet issues. So if I drop, I
Yes.
am sorry for that to my life. Anyway, the
Well,
movie is about an insomniac office worker who's dealing with empty consumerism life, and then he finds relief by crashing support groups. This routine is then upped by meeting a soap salesman by the name of Tyler Durden. They form an underground fight club that devolves into an anarchist terrorist organization. And then this leads to the shocking twist reveal at the end, which
which was
I will not
for me.
spoil right now, but you know, it's definitely a good movie. Definitely watch it. Here we go. So, fun facts about Fight Club is that the writer wrote this movie because he went camping and he was upset about the people next to him playing music, and there was a lot of commotion. He got beat up, and then he realized that at his office when with a black eye and like all beat up, all the features of getting beat up. None of his coworkers asked him anything or talked to him about it. So he was like, okay. So they're just ignoring me. So that was the idea. And then Edward Norton compared Fight Club to The Graduate because he says that they both are about, you know, they don't know how to handle what's coming in front of them, so they both literally, it's the same thing in their lives. They don't know what they're going to do next in their lives. They're scared. So the movie, let me see, the movie was $63 million to make. And of the $63 million, $17.5 million went into Mr. Tyler Durden himself. And what do you call it? Edward Norton only got 2.5. That's still a lot of money, but 17.5 compared to 2.5 was crazy. So the Marla, he wanted Julia Louis-Dreyfus to play that role, but she was in Seinfeld at that time, and she didn't know who he was, so she didn't want that. She didn't. I can't picture her in that role anyway. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
She's in Thunderbolts.
yeah, but she's not. Some of these scenes in Fight Club, she wouldn't. I can't picture her doing that. But
Yeah. One of those things I really want to do. Okay, creeper. Who would you keep
Brad
going?
Pitt and Edward Norton took boxing and soap making classes to prepare for the role. And then the director said, so it's a good thing if you guys want to rewatch this movie, that there's a Starbucks cup in every shot. So I didn't see it, but I didn't pay attention. The only time there isn't a Starbucks cup is when they destroy that fake coffee shop. That's it. But everything else, there's always a
Maybe.
coffee shop, Starbucks there. Tyler Durden appears 5 different times before he is introduced to the movie. Meatloaf wore a fat suit filled with birdseed. The birdseed is to make his boobies sag. He said it was 100
That's what I
pounds.
was.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was 100 pounds, man. So he said he had to take an oxygen tank afterwards because it was so heavy on him. So, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. If you guys didn't notice, they used the CGI from Titanic, the breathing, so you can see his breath. So that's taken from Titanic at the end of the movie. And then the director told Edward Norton to punch Brad Pitt in the ear, and that's his real reaction in the movie. So actually, I thought that was really good. That was one of my favorite scenes. So there was a controversial scene where Marla said something. Originally, she was going to say one thing, but then they changed it. It made it even worse, and that's the "I haven't been blank since grade school." And the producers and directors wanted to take that out so bad, but nope, he he did not. Jared Leto's original beating had to be cut because it was too gruesome. damn, it was too gruesome for me, just what they left in. And
I
then if you
didn't watch.
guys back in the day, if you guys bought this movie, the Blu-ray edition, the movie starts out the home screen with "Never Been Kissed." So just that's pretty interesting. Yeah, yeah. And then one of the biggest things about this movie is that Rosie O'Donnell had a TV show back in the day, and it was actually really popular. And she went on there and she announced that she saw this movie an advanced screening of this movie, and she didn't like it. She told people not to watch it, and she gave away the movie. And Brad Pitt said that was unforgivable. So yeah, thank you,
Sounds like
Rosie
my
O'Donnell.
wife. She'd better wait too.
Which a lot of
Disaster.
younger people don't know who she is, just FYI.
Yeah, they don't. But yeah.
Better
So
people.
with that, actually, before we start, there's a couple things I want to say. So there is a fan theory out there, well, couple of them. So let me know what you guys think of it. One of them is they say is that Marla is another character that he imagines, and that she's the representing his desire of intimacy, humanity, serving, Tyler's.
I'm their side.
Yeah, yeah, because you never see her with other people. It's just those two. I mean, but I don't know. I feel like that's not true because at the restaurant where the guy's like, they're ordering food. The guy's like, oh, with the young lady like this. So I think maybe I don't know, but the
Yeah.
other one is they're saying that Edward Norton, his character, he already knew everything he was doing, but he made up the two characters because one is him living the pretentious life of the office and all that, and then Tyler Durden is his subconscious who's doing all this destruction that he always wanted. So throughout the whole movie, he knew what he was doing, and it was just he just two characters that he just created in there. So I don't know. And then that's about it.
With the first one, it turns out the movie's based on the book. And in the book, Marla is real. But
Okay.
during our questions, I'll bring up why it's a little bit confusing. And I don't think she was real in the movie.
Yeah, I could see why. Yeah. Okay, so first question is, would you recast anybody in this movie?
Yeah. Yes.
What?
I think
Who?
we already
What?
know who.
Who? No, I don't.
We're just,
Huh?
we're just talking about Louis-Dreyfus.
Really?
What do you mean? Come on, man. We're just
I don't
talking
think she
about
can
that.
pull it off. I don't think she can pull this character off.
No, I think. What's
Yeah.
her name?
I would have liked to seen her instead. I prefer, for my own reasonings, I prefer to have her in there making those noises. But yes, probably replace, probably replace her. Yes, and have her the original. Yeah, would have been nice. That's my own kick thing. So yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, knowing this actress, she pretty much plays the same kind of character.
Yeah, I know she does. Yeah.
But I feel like she really did she was the right person for this role because you needed someone neurotic, kind of crazy. And I mean, I don't know if that's how she is in real life, but honestly, that's what is called character that she plays in each movie that she does. So I thought I would recast her. I would maybe recast Jared Leto.
Jared Leto was good.
It wasn't that he was bad or good. He was just there. It wasn't memorable for me. Like his short
blonde hair.
10 minutes that he was there, it
wasn't a
yeah.
He got beat
All right,
up.
so Jared Leto,
What are you talking about?
check.
I'm not saying bad or good. I'm just saying he was forgettable.
No, he
Yeah.
wasn't.
All right, well, you got there. I know.
Well,
Better.
I disagree with you guys. I don't think they should recast anybody in this movie. I think everybody played the role to what they were supposed to. Even the guy at the bar that had the neck brace, he was, he still cracked me up. He was like, "You testing me right now?" So I think everybody did a great job in this movie, and everybody filled that character. So there wasn't any bad acting to me. So, was there a bad line in this movie, or what's your favorite line in this movie? Think I already said my favorite line, which is what Marla said. I haven't been F this good since grade school, but what are you
Favorite
guys?
line? Okay, jeez, I had issues. All right, just oh man,
I'm gonna skip over that one.
that was skip the out right. Oh, you just said earlier, bro, not the kinky thing of yours, but I was talking about whenever we yes, sir. Is this a question? Is this a test, sir? I like those lines. They never got
Right.
old, even though everybody asks all the time, and Edward Norton got sick of everybody asking. Oh, but anyway, I like that. I think my favorite line. They never got old. They never got.
Yeah.
It, that was my favorite. I don't think there's any bad lines that I can think of. That was my favorite.
For
And
my
go ahead.
for me, it's when Brad Pitt is asking Edward, "Do you know what a duvet is?"
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I forgot what Edward said, but Brad Pitt says it's just a blanket.
Yeah,
But it talks more about consumerism, like there's companies as a whole sell you a bunch of different stuff that you don't need, and they try to call all these other things, give it different names for the same thing. A throw pillow, a regular
Yeah, throw
pillow.
pillow.
It's things you don't need, and I think that that was one of like the messages of the movie
good
about
message.
consumers.
That was a good
So
message.
I guess it's talking about that. I don't know. For me, the message of the movie was more of the middleman. We're the middleman, and you should respect us because we do everything. We're the dishwashers. We're the garbage men. We're
Yeah,
we're everywhere. We're here to serve you guys, but treat us better because at any time we can then go there and ruin your life. So just that's what I got out of it. Because
Well, for me, in regards to the message, it was part of a consumerism, but more of you have two different lives. You have Edward Norton living,
the
working
consumer.
to have this apartment, buy this stuff, and continue having that lifestyle. And then you have Brad Pitt, more of living as a rebel, who doesn't care about items and things, and it's not really planning for things. And I think it was more of a message of you gotta try to find a way to live between those two worlds.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Okay.
how and it kind of goes with the whole middleman, like you got to find a middle between those two extremes.
whoa.
I don't know what happened. My light just went off. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, the other thing is scene stealer. Who do you think, or what scene do you guys think was like stood out the most in this movie? Either it could be a character or it could have been a scene.
For me, it was just the acting of everyone. Everyone was the right choice for that role. I don't think there was any particular character or scene, or it's just overall the I felt very I thought those people were real. I'm not sure how else to explain it. I was immersed into the story. So yeah, for me, it was just the acting of everyone, from everyone.
Very good acting. For me, it was the house. I think that stole the movie for me. So not just all that activity going on in the house, but man, I mean, I don't know how they lived there with that terrible bathrooms, bed situation, dirty water. I'm surprised they didn't get sick. But anyway, I think that stole it for me. They did a good job, living in that house and making it work. And then towards the end, when everybody was helping, making it look better. So that did it for me. I think that considering what they were doing.
I would have to go with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. I think that they stole the movie, and the reason why is because throughout the movie, you think that they're talking to, their team, their army, and, 'cause I always felt like Brad Pitt told the army that, "Hey, Edward Norton's character, don't listen to him." But at the end of the day, they didn't know. I always thought that he told them, but they never found out, and then you realize that when they're in the car and he's driving in the rain, and then he just lets go, and he's arguing by himself, in the front seat, and the 2 guys in the back are like, "What's going on?" But you think that those guys are like in shock, or like they don't know what's going on because they're arguing and they don't wanna get in the middle of it, but they're actually shocked because he's arguing to himself, but you just don't put that 2 and 2 together. So I think they did a really great job of mixing that. So I really appreciated that about that movie. Like you were never fully thinking that it was just one person. So, but going into that, was there like a plot hole in there for you guys? And I think Juan was saying, Marla, right?
Marla. Yeah, so I read and they were saying, not they were saying, in the movie, she is a real character, and they don't really explain that in regards to the movie, whether she was or wasn't. For me, it was just, it didn't seem like a real character or real person in the movie, more of um, a different, an alter ego of Edward
Yeah,
Norton. And that's
yeah.
because at the beginning, she attended every single support group that he attended. How would she know? Why would she do that? Like that didn't make sense. And also the fact that in when she was in other scenes with other characters, no one really talked to her or paid attention to her. So it was almost as she was only being seen by Edward Norton. For example, when you were talking about the dinner, um, he just said, "Oh, she'll have whatever she has," and she said whatever, or maybe he did. I don't remember now, but it just never really seemed like she was even acknowledged,
Yeah.
especially in the house.
For me, it was a job. Edward Norton's job. How the heck did he still keep his job? That's nearly impossible. Not to mention, how did he keep his job in a tourist, where they got caught supposedly punching him? But yeah, he's gonna get paid for not working and like,
It's
what?
smart.
Like that? Just like that, you just go walks in and you're getting punched? That doesn't happen. But whatever. That's smart. Yeah, it is smart, but I don't know if that really come on. I don't know. His boss was pretty cool at first, but then towards that, it was like, really? Come on. In reality, I think you file a lawsuit and fake.
Yeah.
But for me, it's his job. That didn't really convince me.
I
But he
don't
still
know.
had it.
It's tough for me because I wanna say the plot hole is him. Like his army never question it because I know they're used to, like, all this crazy stuff, and he tells them one thing, because he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna act erratic. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. So just ignore that." Like they never question it, and that to me, maybe I've never been in a cult or anything like that, but like it was just really hard for me to believe for them never to challenge him. It's like, why are you fighting with yourself in the car? Like why don't you know what's happening? It's like this is your plan, this is your idea. So things like that, like, you know, that's just weird. But at the same
Well,
time, maybe he's trying to keep them on their toes. So
I think that was also part of like the message of the movie of people needing a social group or needing to belong to something. Because, part of the reason why he started the club is to feel alive, to feel part of something. And everyone that joined said the same thing. And so I think the movie was talking about like how men or just maybe people, but I think it has to do more with men wanting to be part of group and the danger of like being in a club or in a group and blindly following that group. That's why there's um Brad Pitt was beating up that guy about going back to veterinarian school. And I think that was kind of like one of the points, like when you see someone that's actually gonna make something out of their lives or become something, they push him out of the group. And that was that kid when he was saying, "Hey, if you're gonna really be a veterinarian, or if I come in 6 weeks, I don't see you like pursuing that, I'm gonna beat you up or something like that."
Kill him. Yeah.
That's
Or
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I think he saw that, hey, this guy actually is gonna become something, not like the other followers that just follow.
Yeah. Just follow. Right. Yep. Good point.
I mean, you can even look at today's politics. There's someone in the office that does crazy stuff, and everyone's just defending him. Not everyone, but his supporters are defending him. And you're saying we can obviously see there's a video saying the opposite, but like,
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So, speaking of that, deleted scenes you wish existed. Well, I already know my brother over there with Julia Dreyfus.
Oh, we got screwed out of that, man. Where are those scenes? Come on. Like, okay, don't get me wrong. I like the audio. That's nice, but like, come on, get some more of that scene. But no, actually, aside from that fetish of mine, I like the soap part too. How he makes soap and the chemistry, all that stuff. Me being a chemist, knowing all that stuff is pretty cool. How he talks about it, puts on come on, the goggles and everything, and how he makes soap and everything. It's just fascinating. I just wish they had more scenes about the whole soap industry for me personally. That would be cool. And yeah, the other scenes, yes, with the chick. Hey, I was a 19-year-old kid when that movie came out. Come on. Anyway, yes. That would have been me.
for me, I wish there was a little more clarity of what's real, what's not, what's Tyler's imagination. I know a big part of it is supposed to be subjective, up to the viewer to figure that out. But it just would have made the movie a little more.
They
Uh,
did.
well, no, like for example, Marla, is she really real or not? And again, I go back to the book, the end of the scene or the end of the movie, all the buildings blowing up. Is it really what happened, or is it a hallucination? So what I was reading between the difference between the book and the movie, in the movie, the buildings are exploding. They never really confirm whether that's real or not. But in the book, it's a hallucination. I think he had shot himself or something like that.
He did
So
shoot
I wish there
himself
was a little more clear. Did he in the end? I don't remember seeing that now.
because he shot himself to kill Tyler Durden. Remember, he's like, "Pah." And then Tyler dies.
But did he really shoot himself, or did he
That's what I want to know.
imaginary shoot himself? That's what
That's
I'm
what
saying.
I'm curious about that.
Yeah. Did it really happen, or in his mind did he just shoot
Just kill
himself,
Turk.
right, imaginary to kill
Yeah.
the other alter ego? Or did he
Well,
really shoot himself?
because we
That's
never
true
really saw
because, like,
really
when he
saw
shot
the
himself, I thought I was going through the back, but somehow I ended up going like to the side of his
right,
mouth. Like, uh,
right.
that makes
That's my
sense.
point. Like, I wish there was a little more clarity between that, like what's real, what's in his head. Other than that, that was the only thing.
No, I think I have to agree with you on. I think I wish there was more, information or more little tidbits to let us know what's real and what's not. Just because in the beginning, so maybe it's another plot hole. It's like he's outside the bar beating himself up, and people come up and they're like, "I got next." It's like that's weird.
I
Like
know.
what? That's like
Yeah,
what?
I know.
Like if I saw a guy beating
Hello.
himself up, I wouldn't be like, "All right, let's do this." Like that's weird. But I mean, I like that aspects that of like he thinks he's Tyler or he's watching Tyler while he's there, but some of those scenes are interesting. All right. Would you guys cue this movie or would you guys screw it and throw it away?
Cue it. I think it's a classic.
Classic.
I
Yeah.
think it was misunderstood when it first came out.
Yep.
I didn't see it until like 10 years ago, and I thought it was good, and I saw it again, and I still think it's a really good movie.
Yeah, I thought it was misinterpreted too. I thought it was just another movie about fighting, but Now that I just saw it, it's very good. People should see it. It's classic. It's good.
Yeah, I think it's this movie hits like a certain age group, you will understand it, and if after that, you won't, like, you know? So I think the movie is definitely worth watching. I really enjoyed it, and, I think that, they did a great job. It was really good, so I definitely recommend it. You can follow the story, and then speaking of the story, what'd you guys think? The vibe check on this movie, do you think it hit the emotional tones, or was it, you know, a total miss?
I think it's for me it the vibe check. It depends who you ask because there's so many different layers of emotion and right. Like what did you get out of the movie? So like for example, like I was saying that for me, what I got was consumerism, dealing with or trying to find something between the two extremes, but also I think it hit maybe this word didn't exist back then, but the male loneliness epidemic that's currently being described with the younger generation, the need for community, a third place. And by that, I mean, like, at least when I was younger, you went to school or work, and then you had other things to do. Um, to meet up with friends. And if you were young, going to the mall. But I feel like as the younger generation, it's harder to find that third place that's outside of work and school. Malls are closing or people are more online. They don't want to meet up outside. And so I think that's also an emotion that the movie was trying to portray of like men needing to find something to belong to or be a part of.
Mm,
Yeah, like you said, it just depends who you're talking to. But
Right.
if you're trying to figure out, don't let things take over your life, like Brad was saying. Or for me, at first, like in most people, thought about just another fight club fighting, this and that. And then after a while, I started thinking, well, maybe it's just a way of him letting out his anger, just fighting himself and, letting out and not hurting anybody else by himself. So it just depends how you look at it. But yeah, the vibe check was there, however you look at it, which is pretty cool to have to many different, ways you can look at it. So I thought that was cool. All right. If you have lighting in the back,
it's a motion sensor, and it goes off. I guess I'm not moving enough.
now you got to move your hands
Yeah, I know. I gotta be like, "Oh."
or something.
I would cue it also. I think this movie is, really important. I think it should be, one of those movies that, it's a must watch because there's so many things you can take away from this movie. There's so many the way you read this movie, there's so many ways, you know? I just go researching about, the theories and, there's colleges and there's psychiatrists and everybody has a different perspective of the movie, and I think that's really neat. It's like one of those movies that I've seen that has that, where it's like everybody just saw something different. So it's up to you. You just gotta go there with open mind, and it's one of the movies you have to rewatch because you have to rethink and to see what the real message is. Now, would you survive? Bob didn't survive, so poor Bob. But would you? Yeah, you have a name when you die, Bob.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't survive either. Nope. Set up, let them come out.
I would say I would survive. It seemed like they really care about each other. Yeah, they were fighting each other, but they weren't necessarily there to kill each other. So yeah,
Right.
you know, and even if you
Still,
lost,
how that guy's
it didn't seem like anyone got ousted for losing. So yeah,
Yeah,
they had respect at the end, shake hands. So yeah. Or they hug each other. Good job. Okay.
yeah.
Well, good for
Agree.
you. Like, that's
I would agree with that. I would survive. I get my ass kicked a few times, but I'd survive. Take a beating or two. But yeah,
yeah, I'm a love fighter. Yeah.
that's right. So what's your favorite scene in this movie? Which part of this movie did you guys really like a lot, or was memorable, or just stood out for you? That I'll start it out. For me, was where they blew up the little, what's it called? The little statue circle of the city of the world, and it
Oh,
rolled
the ball
down.
rolling.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then it hit the
yeah,
fake coffee shop. I really enjoyed that. I think it was really well done. That's where Bob dies, and because he couldn't outrun the police. So, but just them doing their mission, and then Edward Norton not knowing what's happening, even though he's the one that set up everything in motion.
yeah.
So I think that I really like that. That was one of my favorite scenes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, you're right. That was a good scene with the ball rolling. But two favorite scenes with Brad at the beginning, talking about he was a waiter, so he's peeing in the food. That was classic because I know that happens. Don't get the chowder. That was good. That was well done. And then, of course, the acid test by hand. I thought that
Yeah.
was well done too.
That's where they get the cheese from.
That's just to show you be careful when you go out. But yes, then Edward Norton did a good job on acting, assuming that wasn't real acid. I can only imagine how you would act that one out. So that was pretty cool, the acid test and everything you learned from it. So those are my two favorite.
For me, it was when he realized that he was Tyler. And
Yeah,
so he's going on the plane, going different places, went to the bar, and finally realized that
a lot of
they're the same
places.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that
That's
was good
true.
too.
And then, so I don't know. I'll ask anyway. Cameos. What do you guys think? Do you guys like any cameos? I know one didn't like Jared Leto, but besides that, we have Meatloaf.
I mean,
Anybody like Meatloaf? I thought Meatloaf was really good in this movie. I really approve on his act.
Yeah, I didn't know that was in, but now that I do, yeah, I did too. Excellent. Yeah,
I was going to say, I didn't dislike Jared Leto. I just thought he was forgettable. But there was a small cameo that was
right.
only a few seconds. Lawrence Sanchez Bezos was on it.
What?
Yeah, so she was one of the news reporters or the on like the news channel. She was only there for like a few seconds. And I did some Googling and she's been in a lot of movies as a news reporter or anchor. She was a journalist.
That's funny.
And so yeah, Lawrence Sanchez was in this movie.
Okay, I didn't know that. And then last question for the night: if this movie came out today, would anybody care? You think it'd do better than?
I think it would do much better now. And I think it would do only better because the message would be lost. Kind of like Wolf of Wall Street. It did really well. People came out saying, I want to be that person. Where in reality, the movie was made to be like, hey, this is what people are becoming, and this is not who we want to be. This is the result of capitalism. But people didn't take it that way. People said, I want to be that person.
Yeah,
And I feel that would be the same scenario in this movie.
I agree with that, bro.
Yep, that would be up to today's standards. It's always gonna be watchable. Yeah, it's a classic. People. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. Glorify. They would glorify the character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree
So
with
good
that.
movie, good
Yeah,
choice.
so I think if it came out today, people would glorify the character even more. I think when it came out,
Mhm.
everybody was so focused on the violence and
Right.
the chaos and everything from the movie. But now I think this generation now, if they would glorify Tyler Durden, they'd be like, "That's the man to be," especially those
Mhm.
abs, baby. Woo, woo. Goals, man, goals. But with that, hold on, let me see. Did I miss any question? No, shoot, nope. With that, thank you guys. One of the greatest movies. Thank you for watching it. It's a long movie. It's 2 hours long. A lot
Yeah.
of between, it was long. There was a lot of interesting concepts. Again, it's one of those movies you have to rewatch, and you'll get a different meaning every time. So think, my brother, you are next for the next movie. Just let us know when you decide what it is. And with that, we'll see you next week.
Go England.